Hi guys, my name is Steph and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. I really appreciate that, and like the video now if you forget at the end of class. So for today's class, it's going to be themed around Aquarius season. So Aquarius season, which is a water symbol, is actually an air sign. So it really rules the mental mind. It's a fixed sign, so that means it is in the middle of the season. So if you're in North America, that is the winter season, which is naturally a time of introspection, of kind of going inward as well. So Aquarius brings disruptive innovation and challenges the status quo, inspiring us to think of solutions that were never taught to us. So Aquarius is kind of like the rebel, so doing things differently, and differently also as a collective. Birthing new ideas, quick thinking, and honoring your unique genius. Create the world that you want to live in, rather than accepting what already is. So see what that means and brings up for you, and even in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to come during the season, start to pay attention to maybe the pings or just any subtle things that start to come into life for you. And for this class, if you have 2 blocks, I think we're going to use them, but good to have. Actually, we are. So yes, definitely grab 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use some books as well. And I will see you guys on the mat in a second. All right, guys, so we're just going to begin momentarily standing. So just have both of your blocks. You can set them up so they're just beside each other. And we're going to start off with just a foot massage. So just kind of guide yourself to start to press a bit of weight into the block. So keep the back leg straight and start to just bend in to the right foot. So just work down the length of the foot, and then you can start to shimmy the foot from the inner to the outer arch as well. So just activating, waking up the foot. And then switch to the other side. Left foot. And you can even start to kind of direct your breath, attention, awareness down the body, down the leg, to the feet, waking up all the little bones and muscles that support and stabilize us. Okay. And then we'll release ourselves down onto our bums and extend the legs out long so that the corner of the block closest to you is just a few inches above the ankle. So kind of the starting point of the calf, and just shimmy the legs from side to side, what I'm doing. And you can also lift up the bum to get it a little bit deeper in there if that feels good. Release kind of all muscular tensioning, so let the feet flop and just swivel side to side, and then move to the belly again. Swivel to the outside, to the inside, and then if you want to lift the bum up and then release. Let's go to the part of the calf closest to the knee and do the same thing. And then release. Staying exactly as you are, we'll point the toes and then flex the feet. So let's do this a few more times. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. One more, point and flex. This time we're going to point the left foot, flexing the right. We'll switch, 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 and last one. And just shake out the feet. And for the last exercise, we're going to curl the toes inward and then go into a point. Then curl the knuckles of the feet back. You might cramp up into the flex. So let's do this 4 more times, moving a little bit slower. Ooh, cramp. And we'll do 1 more. Ooh. And release. So just move the blocks off to the side for now, and we'll release ourselves down on to the backs. So legs extended out long. Arms can be either over the head or down by the side. Smooth inhale and exhale. So first of all, just notice if you can feel the blood flow circulation down in the feet, the calves. Notice how that movement awakens both your attention to this area, blood flow circulation, concentration, articulation of movement. And then check in just how the mental mind has been in the last maybe few days of Aquarius season. Notice if you're starting to feel those little bursts of creativity and inspiration. And then we'll do 2 rounds of the physiological sigh. So we'll breathe in, we'll pause, then take an extra sharp inhale, and then exhale fully. Okay, all together, exhale. Breathe in, pause, extra inhale, exhale, nose or mouth. 1 more round, breathe in, pause, extra inhale, pause, and exhale. And gently knock the left ear down, the right ear down to the right shoulder. Switch back and forward. And then we're going to do the same thing with the legs. So just point the toes in and then bring them out, in and out. Taking the soles of the feet down to the ground, bending at the knees, pressing in to the feet without lifting the hips quite yet. And we're just going to tilt the tailbone so that the low back is onto the ground. And then rock the pelvis forward, lifting the low back. Release. Low back makes connection with the ground. Then tilt the tailbone again, lifting the low back. So drawing the navel a little bit in towards the spine, creating that clear container of the torso. Start to press into the big toe mound and then lift the hips up off the ground. Lengthen the tailbone and squeeze the glutes. Lift the heels up off the ground, keeping the hips lifted, and then lower the heels back down, releasing the spine all the way down until you touch down. Slight arch in the back. Tuck the tailbone, press into the feet, lift the hips, lengthen and squeeze the glutes. Keeping the thighs parallel to one another, lift the heels. Lower the heels, releasing 1 vertebrae at a time. Rock the tailbone, lifting the low back, and then release it back down 1 more. Press into the feet, lift, lengthen, squeeze. Lift the heels up off the ground. Mind-body connection, release the heels and lower the hips, steady and controlled. Rocking, lifting the low back, and then we'll come into a comfortable neutral here. Next, we're going to step the right foot a little bit further away from us, left foot a little bit in closer to us. So we're on a staggered stance here. Press down into the feet, lift, lengthen, squeeze, and then isometrically drawing the heels back towards you. So activating the hamstrings, you might feel a pretty nice cramp there. And then release down. We'll switch sides. So left foot steps forward, right foot steps back. Press down into the feet and draw back in. And release to the ground. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Take a little rock side to side. Breathe in. And exhale, steady into stillness. Extend the legs up towards the ceiling. And we're going to drop the left foot just about 1/3 of the way, okay? So you can fire up the quads to straighten the legs, but do whatever is most comfortable, keeping the navel drawing in towards the spine, so keeping that clear container of the core. And then we're going to point the left toe, flex the right, switch, point the right toe, flex the left, switch, left toe points, right foot flex, and then bring the right foot up to center and we'll drop the right foot. Point the right toes, flex the left foot, switch, switch, and switch. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Again, we'll extend the legs back up towards the sky, this time interlacing the fingers behind the head. Breathe in, navel into spine, drop the left leg, lift the shoulders up off the ground, and twist towards the right. Keeping active all the way down to the feet. You can have that Barbie kind of toe point flex. Inhale, center, and release. Exhale, lift, twist to the left. Drop the right leg 1/3. Navel into spine, breathe in, center, and release. One more each side. Exhale, lift. Breathe in, lift, I think. Yeah. Exhale, release. Switch sides. Last one. Navel into spine and knees in towards the chest. Gentle rock from side to side. Crossing at the ankles, we'll roll up through seated into all fours right away. And we're going to take the blocks again and we will do a similar release but on the quads. So coming into a forearm plank, adjust the blocks just so that they're close to the knee, not on the knee. And we'll just shimmy the hips from side to side. So awakening, activating, shift down so that the block's in the belly. And then the last one. Shimmy side to side. You can roll a little bit more on one side. It feels quite good getting into the IT band. And then release. We'll move the blocks off to the side. Coming into a modified plank position, you can have the index finger facing a little bit more to the forward or whatever is most comfortable for your wrists. Navel into spine, breathe in, and then exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale into the cobra, tops of the feet press into the ground. Engage the quads by lifting the kneecaps and even energize through the calves, the glutes, the back body, and lengthen the back of the neck. And exhale, release. We'll do that again. Use the posterior chain to press you up, tops of the feet into the ground, and release. One more if you'd like to come into the up dog, keeping the shoulder blades onto the back body. Nice curve through the spine. Lifting the knees, engaging the quads, and pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. Okay, and then release all the way down. Tuck the toes, press up into the modified plank position, and send the hips back to downward facing dog stillness. So breathe down to the ankles. So obviously you're inhaling into the lungs, but your attention and awareness is in the ankles. Then we'll just lift the heels completely off the ground and lower them back down. Do this 2 more times. Lift, crux, and lower. Lift and lower. Last one, lift and lower. Release the knees down onto the ground and we'll step the right foot forward, tucking in the back toes. Breathe in Anjaneyasana. You can take the hands and interlace them behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, hands into the head. This just helps with balance and stability. So as you do this, you might feel the core drawing in. Simultaneously, we'll engage this left glute, driving it forward, and gently pull the right heel back. So you should feel stable in the pelvis and in your foundation. From here, we're gonna lift all the 5 toes on the right foot. Press the 4 toes down, keeping the big toe lifted. Switch, so big toe presses down, 4 toes lift. Switch, 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 and switch. Release the hands down, step the right foot back, switching sides, left foot steps forward. Ground down into that foundation, we'll do that scissoring action. Right hip forward, right glute engaged. Taking the hands, interlacing them behind the head, press the head into the hands. And then lift all 5 toes on the left foot. Release the 4 toes, keep the big toe lifted. Switch, 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 and switch. Release the hands down. Step the left leg back into the downward facing dog. Breathe in through center. Heels are lifted over the toes. Knees or no knees, Chaturanga Dandasana for 3, 2, 1. Tops of the feet into the ground, cobra or the up dog. Nice curvature in the spine. You're not dumping into the hips. And as you exhale, shifting back, flip the feet, downward facing dog. Breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, lower for 3, 2, 1. Cobra or the up dog, tops of the feet. Exhale, navel into spine. Flip the feet, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg parallel to the ground. Engage that right glute, square off the hips. Drawing the knee in towards the nose, press into the hands and step the foot wherever it goes. Bring it forward to the outside of the right hand. Keeping the right knee in towards the right shoulder. And we're just gonna do hip rotations leading from the left heel. So opening up through the hip. If that's too much, you can lower the left knee. And then reverse directions. Getting that ankle mobility. Last one. And then step the right leg back to downward facing dog. Left leg raises parallel to the ground. Breathe in. Exhale, knee to nose. Hug in and step it through. Bring the foot to the outside of the left hand. And again, we'll start some rotations. Leading from the right ankle. So keep that right leg fired up, engaging the quad. If you haven't switched directions. And then step the left foot back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift the heels high. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel the toes pressing into the ground. And exhale to fold, navel into spine. Ground down into the feet, slight bend in the knees as you inhale, hinging at the hips to raise up to standing. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Breathe in, lift the arms, and exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Breathe in. Plant the hands down, step the right leg back into the lunge, okay? So from here, we're going to bend the right knee slightly. Inhale, crescent lunge. Engage the right quad, hips parallel to the front of the room. Inhale, and exhale, bring the hands to heart center. I'm starting to come a little bit more light on this right foot. We're going to shift the weight into the left foot. Engage the left glute, hinge forward, and maybe lift off into a warrior 3. So even if you can't lift the leg all the way, the right toes can be balancing onto the ground. Slow and steady, bend the left knee and coming back up into the crescent. We'll do this 2 more times. So shift forward, stepping forward into the future. And then release back down. One more. Shift forward into the warrior three. This time we're going to come up to standing, bringing the right knee in towards our chest. So challenging your balance. Option to interlace the fingers in front of the shin. Engaging the left glute and growing tall. From here, we'll take the right ankle into either the tree pose, the foot to the inner thigh, or to the ankle. Reversing, take the knee in towards the chest, lengthen, bringing the hands back to heart center. We'll hinge the hips, nice micro bend in the left knee as you step back into the crescent lunge. Breathe in and exhale, hands to heart center. Step the left leg back into downward facing dog. Lift the heels, breathe in, exhale, bend the knees, step forward. Halfway lift, inhale, and exhale to fold. Anchor down in the feet, rise to standing, and exhale, hands to heart center. Raise the arms, breathe in, fold. Halfway lift, inhale, plant the hands, step the left leg back. Slight bend in the left knee, inhale, crescent lunge. Option to bring the hands to heart center, shift forward into the right foot, ground down into your foundation, and step forward, maybe into the warrior three. Broadening, opening the chest, engaging both glutes. Slight bend in the right knee, step back to crescent. Raise the arms. Hands to heart center, shift forward. Warrior three. Controlled step back. Crescent. Last one, shift forward. Warrior three. And then bringing that left knee up in towards your chest. Drawing the knee in towards the chest, interlacing the hands in front of the shins. And lengthen up through the crown of the head. And then release the left foot into the tree. Stare at one thing not moving, your drishti. Stabilizing your thoughts and grounding your energy down. And now we'll reverse out. We'll take the thigh in towards the chest. Extend back into warrior three. Catch your balance. Step down, crescent lunge, arms up. Release the hands down. And step the right foot back to downward facing dog. Shift forward and release the knees wide, and we'll take it into a child's pose for 2 breaths. And then shifting forward into all fours pose, take the right knee towards the right wrist. If pigeon is okay for you, otherwise take it on your back, the figure 4. If you have your block handy, it's nice to put it underneath the glute if you're working with any knee, hamstring, hip, any injuries, or you just like it better. And then slowly shifting out of the pose, we'll take it to the other side, so you have the option of going through downward facing dog, or you can just kind of switch sides. Whatever feels the best. Steady, steady, steady. So what's coming up is inspiration to step forward. How would you like to do things a little bit differently? And how can you tap into your unique genius and unique way of doing things? Inviting in those little rebellious parts. Kind of like the rebellious higher self, that one. And then rolling over onto the left glute, we'll make our way onto our backs. Hugging both knees in towards the chest. And then dropping both knees over to the left side. Coming back through center, switching, knees drop over to the left, right. Yeah. Then drawing the knees in towards the chest. Smooth, inhale, squeeze in tight. And then release the legs out long, extending them into Shavasana, your final resting pose. So it's through these moments of stillness and introspection that we're able to receive these downloads, these inspirations, these intuitive knowings. So listening to the inner voice requires turning off the outside chatter and noise. So allow yourself to tune in, to soften and release. Quieting the mind chatter. And allow inspiration to surface. And when you're ready, rolling over onto one side. Take a pause. Then make your way up to a soft seated position. Allow your seat to feel heavy, the hips soften. And we'll take the hands to heart center, feeling the finger pads, the palms touch. Gently soften the shoulders and gently drop the chin. May you feel full of inspiration, grounded, and at ease. Thank you so much for practicing today. If you enjoyed this class, please remember to give it a thumbs up again and comment in the section below. I love hearing from you guys, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I will see you guys soon, next week, next Tuesday, and have a lovely rest of your day or evening. Bye.